Hello everybody, the Destroyer here, and welcome to another live cast of Rise of the Witch King, patch 2.02, version 5.0.1. Today I'll be observing a 2v2 on Grey Mountains, which I don't get to see very often. Not a very played map, so it should be cool. And I'll be watching as they play it live. To me at least, live. Not to you so much, because it'll be coming out later, of course. So let's see who we got in this game. We got CM as the Man of the West. And his partner is IceVice as Goblins. And the opposing team is DoDGeR as the Elves, and the last player, but no means least, is Scarepro as Mordor. And yeah, we've been getting some out of sync issues, so we lost some players. We were doing 3v3s, but couldn't games because out of sync. Hopefully has been resolved by them leaving. I know three of us are okay. Me, CM, and Bushit, or IceVice, always play, so we don't get out of syncs. Never played with these other two before. Looks like IceVice is going for 2 tunnels into a spider pit, so he'll be getting probably spider riders or spiderlings, one of the two. It is a very large map. It takes a while to go from here to here, so obviously spiderlings are very fast, and also spider riders are very fast, so both will be very effective. CM is going to farms. Where's his third farm? There's his third farm. 3 farms, Mordor is spying on him. The Eye of Sauron power. Immediately getting some orcs after throwing in an orc pit and getting 3 slaughterhouses there. Keeping his economy going, of course. He'll be definitely making another one over here. So Scarepro is on track. The elf, who's this again? DoDGeR, of course. He's getting some Lorien warriors out of his barracks there. He's got a couple trees, 3 trees right there. Sounds like a 4th one's being thrown down. So all teams should have their economy going pretty well. It seems the forward, semi-forward barracks has been spotted by shit, what's his name again? Something pro, right? Scarepro. It's like Scarecrow, but he's a pro at it. Of course. So he does know where the barracks is, and he will undoubtedly know where to target. Although that will at least help defend this farm a bit. He has placed it fairly nicely, so it can defend one side of the farm. And it looks like CM is going for cavalry. Definitely a good choice. Gondor Knights will be amazing against Orc Warriors, of course. Absolutely wreck their shit. No problem there. War Chant being thrown on the Spiderlings, put in aggressive. Looks like their Venom Sacs is being activated. And they do, of course, tear through the Lorien Swordsmen quite easily. They are actually good against swordsmen. Spiderlings are. That is the unit they're meant to counter. And they do pretty well, especially with the War Chant. So that was a good play there. Good choice for IceVice, for sure. First thing of Gondor Knights is out for CM, and now Scarepro will be losing his Orc Warriors to them pretty quickly there. Any harassment he was looking to do will be nullified completely by the recruitment of those lancers, or not lancers, knights. So it's unfortunate for him. He'll have to change his tactic, get some Easterlings. Yep, definitely some Easterlings he's going to need. He does have 1 battalion out on the field at the moment. He's going to need more though. IceVice going into the base, looking to take a far out slaughterhouse from the fortress there. DoDGeR showing his partner that there is a spider battalion in the back of his base though, with a beacon there. He will need to react, of course. Spiderlings are pretty good for going around and destroying slaughterhouses, but they do take a lot of arrow damage, so if they get too close to the fort, they do drop pretty quick. I'd say they drop like flies, but that's kind of like an insect reference that doesn't need to be made. As you see there, they do drop fast, though. Very fast indeed. IceVice is continuing the harassment with the spiderlings. Of course, having that activated Venom Sacs is pretty nice. That is a thing of 2v2 or 2.02. I believe that you don't have to buy it; it just comes as a power you can activate, like kind of like the poison blades for them. You don't have to actually research that either. So goblins, of course, are a very poison-heavy team. Their archers have poison, their spiders have poison, and their goblin warriors have poison. As you see, it does a lot of damage. The Goblin Warriors are falling by the numbers, but they are taking the Elven Warriors with them, and that's really what he needs to do with them. He should actually be able to defend here. All that's left is a couple of Mythlon sentries, which are of course not very good against swordsmen, which happen to be what Goblin warriors are. Some Gunner Knights from CM going into the base of, I forgot his name again, DoDGeR, jeez. I've remembered everyone's name besides his. There's a Golem on the map there. He may be used, maybe not. Hard to say. CM does have some Gunner soldiers, heavily outmatched here though. There's a very large force of Mordor troops. I'm going to take them off pretty easily. Probably put these guys in shield wall, so they last a bit longer, but I'm sure he's busy elsewhere maybe. Or just doesn't care. Either way. He just have a couple things of Lancers there, which is good. There you go. Realize they're under attack and he put him in shield wall, as he should. Could also further their defensive stance by putting him in hold ground stance, but not necessarily required. It does help though, making him a bit more tanky. Gondor soldiers are definitely hard to kill, that's for certain. Just like the RotWK ones are as well, Uruk swordsmen, because they can do the same thing. Go into shield wall and then go into hold ground stance, they are pretty tanky as well. And of course dwarves are just generally tanky, they don't have the shield wall. But they're hard to kill nonetheless. Lots of goblins here from IceVice. There's 2 battalions of Spider Riders. Playing micros as well. He does run into these Mythlon sentries. Nice war chant on his guys. Does actually manage to hit his Spider Riders as they go through the Goblin warriors there. Turning them into bow mode immediately. Picking off these guys here. It's the best way to deal with those. So he doesn't have to get in there physical with those. And CM is fending off the attack of Scarepro here. So lots of Easterlings and Orcs fighting against Gondor soldiers and some Rohan spearmen. I almost called them Rudar spearmen. I almost call them Rudar spearmen every time. It is nice to see a not so played map though, played. I do like that quite a bit. It's usually just 2v2s on Buckland or something, you know. It's nice to have a little change. Not that I have any problems with Buckland per se. Just I don't like seeing it every game. I can understand it being a clan war thing, but in any other time, not really. I think players should experiment on different maps, have a little fun, live a little once in a while. Seems CM is having a bit of an issue fighting off the Hordes of Mordor here. Scarepro might actually take this barracks. Kind of bad for CM, as he doesn't want to lose that, as you might imagine. But he might. If he had a War Chant or an Eye of Sauron, that would be helpful. Ah, he does have Athelian Rangers though. Those I hope indeed. DoDGeR, the elf player, has a Rally Call in 6 power points and a 575 command point limit. CM, the men down here, 625 command point limit, 9 power points, so he's very close to a 10 because he already has a 5, which is his Rallying Call. IceVice has a War Chant, 8 power points and a 525 command point limit, and 700 for Scarepro, so he's definitely doing the best on the economy front. And he has Eye of Sauron and 6 power points. And this is a 2x command point limit game, I believe, as well. Just I mentioned that, so that I believe they can go over 1,000. That should make things interesting, especially for teams like Mordor that can actually get 1,000. Nice use of a drummer troll there, though. It's actually tanking the arrows very well. If you can get in there close and actually use the roar, there you go. Nice play by Scarepro. Scarepro, rather. And of course, he's doing the leadership to the orcs around him. 33% damage, 33% armor, and 50% faster experience. Always nice to have, especially as an evil team. Where your heroes do not give you leadership, of course. IceVice has a lot of Spider Riders here in bow mode. Doing a good job picking off those Lancers, just or Mythlon sentries. Just lose a Spider Rider there, but not too bad. Looks like the Drummer Troll was taken out, but definitely did his job. You get to use the fear and all that, but now it seems CM has quite the army. So the Men of the West armies are better generally than Mordor's armies. That all depends on the unit composition, of course, but this unit composition is definitely better than this one. But the Drummer Troll does help quite a bit. Ooh, there's a long shot. I almost called it arrow volley, well, as I always do. Arrow volley is the power, of course. Long shot going down, killing all of those guys there. A lot of damage. The troll walking into pikes is going to be picked off pretty easily. And now IceVice is actually attacking Mordor as well. Scarepro does have some lancers now. Goblin lancers. Pretty useful cavalry, but he will have to be careful. There's a lot of pikes in this army. So he will need to micro to his best of his ability. Or he will lose his guys pretty quick. And now the elves are pushing in here. Throwing down the elven wood there. Maybe help them. Looks like we have a some hobbits plot for CM, so we'll be using that shortly, I'd imagine. A long shot being thrown down on the elven army. Of course, they are on the elven wood, so and they are in hold ground stance, so they don't die. Elven wood gives 50% damage in armor, but 50% armor is pretty big. So of course, elven wood is pretty useful. We have Untamed Allegiance from Mordor. I undoubtedly hope he got a fire drake out of that. Oh, he did indeed. As you might imagine, Mordor would go for a fire drake. That should be pretty good if he uses that correctly. Of course, it is only level 2, unlike the fire drake from the fortress of a goblin base. They come with their inferno. This will have to actually level up to 4 without dying, which is possible, as long as it doesn't get picked off by the archers here. Mordor is doing some damage though. If he keeps the pressure up, he should be able to do quite a bit, especially with the fire drake. Fire drake is being picked off by the rangers pretty fast though, and there's a lot of them. Managed to get a few of them there before he dies, but these ones are level 5, max level, so of course they're resistant to fear and all that. Pick off that cave troll pretty well. And the army of Gondor is getting pretty strong, or the Men of the West rather. Seems IceVice saw that fire drake and is immediately reacting to get rid of this fire drake layer of Scarepro. As of course he does not want to see any more fire drakes on the opponent's team. He will need to get rid of this rebel though if he wants to actually stop it from rebuilding. Doesn't look like he managed to do that though. Ooh, Lancers keeping chase but running right into the pikes. Maybe Scarepro shouldn't have chased those spiderlings and spider redders. Armor trolls look like they do a lot of damage, but I don't think they actually do. I think they just have a big knockback, as they don't really kill too much. And of course they have the fear and leadership, which is great to have. They can't be just like mountain trolls with leadership, because that would be overpowered as hell. So obviously the damage is reduced compared to a mountain troll. Or a attack troll, of course. Attack trolls would be good, but not great here. Attack trolls are very powerful, but of course the Thillium Rangers can bring them down pretty quickly, and lots of pikes as well. We do have a Goblin King up for IceVice. He's level 2. So if he can get level 10, of course, he'll get the Fire Drakes himself. Some 3 Fire Drakes. Always powerful to have. I've always thought that power was a bit bullshit in my opinion. 3 Fire Drakes is pretty big. But then again, is it really any worse than Aragorn's Army of the Dead? Absolutely not. That is the worst power in the game, in my opinion, to fight. It's very hard to fight in the Middle of the West with a level 10 Aragorn. I'd take a level 10 Gandalf any day. Just because you can't really do anything about the Army of the Dead most of the time. Unless you somehow have some magic damage you can use against them. Let's say Word of Power or something. Balrog Fire. Stuff like that. We have a Mouth of Sauron out for Scarepro. He's level 1 though, he just came out. He will be effective against these Lancers. Or these Archers, I mean. He doesn't need to be careful though. So we have summoned hobbits from CM. Gonna do some damage. Did he use the... He doesn't use the Violet Gladriel. He should though. This would be the perfect time. Although does he get... No, he doesn't have resistance to fear. Leadership does not do that. Elven Wood does actually give you resistance to fear though. Let's see what's happening in IceVice's base. Looks like an Elven Slaughter. Spider Red getting nice tramples off on the archers and other guys there. Once the Mithlon sentries are left by themselves, they should be overwhelmed by bow mode archers, or bow mode spider raiders, and lots of goblin warriors. Of course, IceVice will keep pumping out goblin warriors. Seems to be stopping for now. He does have a mountain giant sentry though. Don't see too many of those very often, but the Ents have been summoned. There's actually pikes around them as well. And some Mirkwoods. This could be it for IceVice, though. Things went from very bad to worse very quickly. Ends up doing a ton of damage. And of course, his main force to deal with these is Spider Riders. There's so many missile and sentries here. That's not looking good. It's going to be up to Azog to actually help. Men of the West better have rebuild. That's all I'm saying.
We're ready to ride out.
Does CM see what's going on? He did. He has bought rebuild. Is he going to use it in time, though? Oh, there you go. Nice teamwork there. Saving his partner's forts and summoning some Rohirrim to help.
Can no one stand with me?
If he can manage to fight off the Ents, then he might save the base. If not, that's going to suck really badly. Oh, it's going to be really close. Spider Riders are still in bow mode. That's not what you want to do. Oh no. IceVice's fortress goes down for the count. That's unfortunate. It's not out of the game yet, but that is definitely unfortunate for him. And he did have a summon Wildman as well. Unfortunate for him, he couldn't use it at the moment. Of course, nonetheless, have a CM has some Rohan allies. And we have Ents for DoDGeR. Now IceVice is going to have to be forced to play without a fort. Fortunately, he does still have his heroes, so he's not completely out of the game yet. He does need to keep his builders alive. Where are his builders? I wonder. Ah, he's built in his partner's base. Good. He won't be killed off even if he does lose his base. It is possible for them to still win this game. A long shot going down there, not doing a whole lot. See, I'm pushing forward pretty aggressively with all these Zillion Rangers. There's quite a few. Can definitely benefit from getting fire arrows, I feel. Having so many archers, I think fire arrows would be pretty crucial, in fact. Ooh, looks like the elves got too close to the fire drake. That one has not been untamed allegiance yet. And it does burn a few of his men. Looks like he's DoDGeR sending his men to assist Scarepro over here. CM is making it pretty hard to break a barricade of archers here. Catapults and Roger Lancers actually be pretty effective here, though. That's what I would go for if I was Mordor. Although the Drummer Trolls are doing pretty well. But, I mean, the Easterlings don't really get up to them in time. And, of course, the statue here actually gives immunity to fear against guys around him. So there is that as well. So even if the troll did get up here and did his little roar move, it wouldn't do much. We do have a Boromir here, though. Level 4, almost level 5. When he gets to level 5, he'll get leadership. Of course, and he just uses the Horn of Gondor there, freezing Mordor's army. Sauron charging in here. It's level 4 as well. Doesn't have doubt. That's pretty powerful to have. It does reduce enemy armor and damage, nullifies enemy leadership, which is pretty big. Oh, jeez. Somebody's already 25. CM has already got his Army of the Dead power. I didn't see that coming. Well, that will clean up Mordor's army pretty nicely. And the Elves. And then it looks like CM is also pushing against the Elves here. Fighting on two fronts. Sauron looks like he just barely gets away, but he might die to the Rangers. It's gonna be close. Yeah, I think he might get away though. Just barely. Fortunately, the Army of the Dead do despawn there. He did some damage. Lots of Goblin Warriors pumping out of IceVice's base. He still has all his production buildings intact, at least. He has his upgraded Spider Pit, which is always nice to have. Will he be getting a fortress anytime soon, I wonder? Yeah, he's actually rebuilding his fort. And of course, building it next to the Men of the West fortress is going to make things very difficult indeed. Having to siege 2 forts is always troublesome. Unless you're overwhelmingly winning, which they are not, actually. I'd say the top team is actually losing in this situation. Even though IceVice has lost his fortress, I'd still say CM has the better advantage in his matchup there. And he's doing quite well against both teams. And of course the Elves are struggling to kill off IceVice. It's very difficult. Fire Drake absolutely wrecking them. Maybe this was a bad idea by IceVice. He does kill a fire dirt though. Actually giving his gore kill leadership. He gets his at level 4. So actually I guess that was pretty good. But he just lost a bunch of Goblin warriors, but really is that a big deal? Not really. Looks like both teams are destroying the fire dirt lair, so it looks like untamed allegiance won't be a thing anymore. As all the layers will be downed. We're trying to take out the cape, or mountain troll rather. From Scarepro. Mountain troll doing pretty good damage to these guys here, but there is a will here. He will heal up. Aragorn being chased around by Mouth of Sauron. Aragorn can take Mouth of Sauron and his Blade Master without any troubles. Scarepro really should actually get out of there. Scarepro might actually lose him. Ooh, close. Very close. Fortunately for him, he did get to run away. Boromir using his Horn of Gondor, freezing the army in place. And IceVice is going to claim the Signal Fire. Of course, his fortress will be up shortly, and then he'll have use to his powers. So that will be useful for him. It would also be useful for his teammate to capture one. It looks like his teammate does have one. CM has the other outpost. Signal Fire, rather. He probably has the outpost as well. Yeah, he does. I think the Elves have this outpost. Indeed they do. I heard something die. Ah, it's the sound of Knights of Dol Amroth dying. I didn't recognize that death scream. But the Knights of Dol Amroth do die pretty quickly there. It's an expensive loss. Tom Bombadil being summoned down somewhere. Probably up here. There's some hobbits as well. Tom Bombadil is there. There he is. Very nice. Scarepro's been on the defensive for quite a while. It's got to be very aggravating. If he gets rid of this statue, that would be useful though. There you go. Of course, he can be rebuilt by this builder. It's right there. Cloudbreak being used is stunning which army? It's not going to stun this army because it's actually on a Elven Wood, which gives you resistance of fear, which basically is what Cloudbreak is. It's like IceVice now has access to his powers again. He has summoned Wildman in the archer line. And we begin cutting through all of these guys here from the Elves. That was unfortunate for them indeed. We have a worm being summoned from Scarepro. That'll deal with most of these Athelians. Pesky, pesky Athelian Rangers. Of course, losing a level 5 battalion of Athelian Rangers is pretty big. Not the end of the world, but of course, kind of sucks nonetheless. Looks like he actually didn't lose that battalion though. He can actually stand next to that well and get healed up. Mordor's getting close to getting a 25 power. That'll be bad for the Men of the West and Goblins, of course. As are the Elves. So we're getting closer and closer to the 25 power point mark. Things will start getting a bit dicey for some teams. Things can end very quickly, as I'm sure you're well aware once things get into the late game. All it takes is one barrage of powers with a push, and you could lose the game immediately. And the West are up to 6 power points. Of course, he has a lot of other powers and a 25.
Run them down!
Definitely doing the best in the power point department, as you can see there.
We come from Mirkwood.
The Elves already have Sunflower. There it is. Probably want to use the Sunflower on the Men of the West army if they can all bunch together. That would be pretty destructive, I would think. So DoDGeR is on his game with that one. Break this stalemate they've been in for quite a while. Of course, you don't want to use it on the summoned Rohirrim though, because they will despawn eventually anyway. The key target you want to get rid of is like these guys. It looks like CM throwing a barracks open over here. Getting increasingly closer and closer to Scarepro's base. Very slowly. Of course, if he gets a barracks up here, then he'll start building more pikemen and such out here, soldiers. Seems the Elves have sent some men to help. Some Mirkwoods over here. And Mirkwoods here as well. There's DoDGeR's Mirkwoods will kill off these Athelians pretty easily. CM does have a Gandalf though. Lightning Sword doing a lot of damage to those Goblin archers. Wizard Blast is on cooldown. This barracks is trying to get some soldiers out. Some Knights of Dol Amroth, some Rohirrim in tow, running through those archers, cleaning them up quite easily. I need to get another run through though. Finish them off. Gandalf does need to be a little careful. He's taking a bit of damage. Of course, Men of the West have heal. I'd imagine he does. May not be off cooldown, not sure. IceVice pushing forward with some goblins. He does have some half-troll swordsmen. Pretty powerful swords. Good to have. And it looks like he'll be knocking down and capturing the single fire. Or the outpost. Not single fire. We have Faramir, Gandalf, Boromir, and Aragorn. I saw Aragorn earlier. Unless he died at some point. But that will be 4 Men of the West heroes. That's hard to contend with. The Men of the West heroes are obviously very powerful. And once they get leveled up, they're very hard to stop. Especially Gandalf and Aragorn. Most specifically. Oh, the Delarmoth Knights get killed there. Oh, looks like there's a few more. He actually has 2 battalions of them. Getting stuck on some guys there. Fortunately, you can heal them up though, which is always nice. Who called the darkness? Probably IceVice. Yep. Ooh, Scarepro is very close to a Balrog. I'm assuming it's Balrog. More than likely Balrog. Could be Rain of Fire, I can't remember. I never remember. Scarepro does has an army pushing out though. He does have trolls, he does have catapults, archers, and pikes as well. Looks like IceVice making a slight mistake trampling these guys with his spider riders there. Probably not the best use of spider riders. He does get a builder though. So be a little careful. Cloudbreak being used. What? Cloudbreak turns trolls to stone? I did not know that was a thing. That is freaking cool. I mean, it makes sense from a lore standpoint, but I didn't know it actually worked in game. Well, if you weren't aware of that, now you know. Cloudbreak turns trolls to stone. That's really cool. Ah, Rain of Fire. That is the power. He's probably going to use one in his army. Ah, it only works until Cloudbreak wears off, and then they revert back to not being stone. Okay. Interesting. It's a very cool thing indeed. Of course, Rain of Fire is ready to be used. But of course, these guys are kind of split up. You could either get the guys in front, or you can get the guys in back. Obviously, he wants to get them all, if he's going to use it. It would actually kill Boromir there, though. Rain of Fire right here would be so brutal. You can see it too. Do it! Do it, Scarepro. I know you can't hear me, but do it. Ugh. Damn it. He still has time. Boromir is healing up though. What's going on over here? Oh, the Army of the Dead, of course. Getting this summoned in to stop the advance of DoDGeR. See him doing a good job of helping his teammate out there. With his level 25 power. And now IceVice can push in to attack. And of course the power was used as I go away. Typical. Ugh. But it looks like the army is absolutely decimated from CM. The only thing remaining is Gandalf. This little bubble and Faramir. Boromir actually alive as well. So just the heroes. The army though is dead. There's a hero there as well. There's Aragorn. I'm assuming he's been repurchased. Since I haven't seen him out in the field for a while. Well, no team is really able to make too much ground here. I was not expecting this game to drag on as long after IceVice lost his fort. Good to see that he's continuing to fight on and actually making ground. Very cool. And he does have Azog there. Level 5. Level 6, he's Crack the Whip. Crack the Whip. Whip. Gives goblins, half trolls, and spider riders excellent experience. Pretty nice for getting free banner carriers and such, I guess. Can't really complain about that. Ooh, the worm being summoned down from Scarepro to do some damage to the Men of the West army. Do just that. These elves probably need to be a little bit careful though. They're cutting through these tower guards pretty nicely though, as you would expect Lorien swordsmen to do. The attack rolls out from Scarepro. I'd like to see him get some Mumakil. Since he has such a hero problem, I think Mumakil would actually be his answer here. Maybe some Black Riders as well. I always forget about the Black Riders because I just forget they exist. But they're a very powerful cavalry unit, of course. And when Men of the West are going so heavy into archers, it's probably not a bad thing. They're also alright against heroes. Not too bad. Looks like the worm is dying without actually using any abilities, which is unfortunate. Another catapult doing some damage. More guys in the way. Let's see, on the other side of the map we have IceVice pushing in, still leveling up his Azog. I wonder if Azog cracked the whipworks on Spider Riders. They are technically Goblins. Yeah, Spider Riders. Ooh, there's the Sunflower. That's brutal. I love IceVice's army is dead. Goblin warriors coming out into a inferno, all running into the fire and dying. The only thing that is left is the heroes and some half-troll swordsmen that happen to be not in the blast. It's like a nuke going off. And that is the time that elves need to counterattack. While the goblins don't have as much of an army. Of course, goblins able to form an army very quickly, though. It seems CM is actually finally making ground here. Well, he was. I hear a Balrog. Unless that is IceVice's. It is indeed. Balrog being summoned in to deal with the open base. That's bad news indeed. CM also had Earthquake. He used it at some point. Just now, apparently. That might be GG for Scarepro. That's unfortunate. Very well played, though. That was a good match. Looks like we're saying GG. Scarepro is probably going to die here. He doesn't have anything to resist the rest of the attack from CM. And then either DoDGeR will... Well, DoDGeR will die to IceVice pretty shortly here as well. Either they will get killed or they are put out, one of the two. Either way, we got to watch the whole game, which is nice. And yeah, all that Scarepro has now is his fort. Getting some upgrades and some barricade expansions to put up a little bit of defense. We have Ents being summoned in. We're at, I wonder. Over here. Actually, the Ents might take the fortress of CM. That'd be kind of amusing. IceVice should send his laborers to deal with the Ents. I would find that hilarious. He does a fire arrow upgraded archers though. Which drop these Ents pretty quickly. And I'd imagine Men of the West have rebuild. Yeah, CM has rebuild ready. If he's paying attention. Doesn't look like he even needs it though. It was a good effort. It's always nice to take down the enemy fortress if you can. This is a little last hurrah. Unfortunately for him though, his last hurrah did fail. And there's the GG from Scarepro, and he's knocked out of the game. Leaving his partner right here, DoDGeR, by himself. Very nice. And whether he quits out or gets killed is only time will tell. The armies are converging in on his base. Seems he will put up a defense of some kind, maybe? He's continuing to build troops and build some arrow towers, so I'm assuming he'll defend into the last. Some Knights of Dol Amroth coming back to raid the tree. He'll take that down pretty easily. Although he might lose one. And then there's the rest of that's a lot of archers, holy crap. Oh, some of them were summoned in. Okay, I was gonna say, geez. It's still a lot of archers even with that, but at least summon hobbits. The Spider Riders looking to finish off the fort. Alright. There goes DoDGeR. Down for the count. And that leaves CM and IceVice victorious. Very cool indeed. So yeah, that was cool. Good game to watch. I do like doing these live casts when I can. They're pretty fun to watch players play as they do it. It's a little different as a replay, but not quite. Not too much different, but still, it's nice. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed that, and we'll see you in the next cast of Rise of the Witch King, patch 2.02. See you next time.